This video is brought to you by catbeast.com. Design your own custom snapbacks and hats.
JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel on this Sunday, August 6th, 2017. This is, of course, the number one fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. Also available on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Audio Boom, and Google Play Music. This is Off the Script, episode 181, part number 3. For your August 6th, 2017. I didn't get an episode up like I usually do in the morning, guys, simply because it is absolutely dead this weekend on this Sunday for news. I'm lucky that I got anything for this episode, but we're going to go over a few things that are available, and then we'll do the mailbag like we've been doing on Sunday with your subscriber stories. We'll do the Patreon shout-outs, all that stuff. But there really is no news, man. We talked about all the biggest stuff already this weekend on parts 1 and 2. So if you guys missed any of that, links will be in the description as well as in the video with the video annotations. Make sure you guys go and check that stuff out if you missed parts 1 and 2. People were telling me that YouTube made part 2 invisible on my channel for whatever reason. I don't know. Some of you were screenshotting that you got the notification, but when you went to the channel, the video wasn't there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I don't know what's going on with them and wrestling content in general. It's just an absolute fucking mystery, man. It's like the Bermuda Triangle. Shit goes missing. Nobody has any answers for anything. I just don't know anymore. I really don't know anymore. But if you guys missed that, links will be within the video with the annotation. Make sure you guys go and check that out. We talked about the SummerSlam main event Fatal 4-Way finish being kept secret from everybody except Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, obviously. Vince McMahon behind all of that. And in part 2, we got major backstage news, exclusive news as to where WWE wanted to go with the WWE Championship at SummerSlam and where we are going at SummerSlam with Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship, plus a whole lot more. Parts 1 and 2 live on the channel right now. I want to make this known to everybody. Yesterday, I had to block and bench, as what I like to call it, bench 2 fucking goons in my Patreon-only Discord chat. Now, one of these particular people started talking shit about me, from what I heard, about my Patreon tiers. Why haven't we gotten Off the Script Retro? Why haven't we gotten Beer Goons? Blah, 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 blah. So he proceeded to talk shit about me. And he talked shit about me because I benched him on Twitch. I guess during a Call of Duty live stream. Now, if I bench you on Twitch, there is certainly a good reason as to why you're benched. Because I just don't hand out benchings to anybody on Twitch. Twitch is for the people who are really fans of what I do, whether it's Call of Duty, whether it's WWE 2K17, going to be 18 in a little bit, you know, whether it's me live streaming reactions for pay-per-views or NXT or WWE events. Those people who come out to Twitch are fans and are regular viewers of what I do on Twitch. I just don't hand out benchings. So if you are benched on Twitch, you either session joined me and my guys on a game of Call of Duty, which is strictly forbidden. That will land you permabench with no fucking return. You either talk shit about me in the chat, you were disrespectful, you were spamming and wanted a spotlight on yourself for whatever fucking reason, and normally those people get a timeout, but if you continue doing it after the timeout, you get permabenched. So one of those things had to occur for you to be benched. And then the other fucking clown said that my channel is dying. Sorry, clown. No, it's not. All my numbers are up vastly. I have over 20 million minutes viewed in this month alone. So the channel is not dying at all, by any means. We're about to hit 81,000 subscribers. This is the best sub growth that I've seen in months. I don't know what's going on, but I'm assuming it has to do with the quality of the content that is being pushed out. Because YouTube isn't pushing anything out as far as wrestling-related content is going. So the channel is not dying by any means. In fact, it's only growing. So those two individuals were benched. Now, I understand people's frustrations with the fact that I didn't get an off-the-script retro out for part 3 of that, where we are going to talk about the SummerSlam pay-per-view in 1992. And then the $5 tier for Beer Goons. Now, I already explained this to you. For those people wondering, I already explained this to you at the end of at the end of last week's part 3. I explained this already. If there's one thing that I hate, it's repeating myself. Now, the reason why we don't have an off-the-script retro part 3 yet is because I'm waiting on fucking IRWNetwork. They asked me to connect my PayPal account, which was done already. I logged in this week, and all my information was erased. Every time I upload anything, anytime I update anything on IRWNetwork website, it's as if it never happened. I upload content, it never gets uploaded. I gotta go through the fucking tech guy for him to do it for me. I gotta email him the file, he's gotta do it for me. I can't even do it from my fucking desktop. They haven't paid me. There's nothing about the website being pushed out and promoted at all. And I got people over there who are subscribed, who willingly subscribe for exclusive content, that the paywall is not up yet. The entire website was supposed to be an exclusive hub for people to subscribe to listen and watch your favorite wrestling content creators. The entire website is still free. The paywall is not up yet. So, the reason why I signed up for those guys, the reason I signed up with those guys is to put out off-the-script retro. If I'm going to put out off-the-script retro for free over there, and then charge you guys over on Patreon $3 a month, don't you feel like I'm cheating the Patreons by charging you something that you could get for free? Then people want to tell me that I'm being lazy with content. No, I don't want to fucking take you with your money, you fucking retard. Oh, I'm sorry. I promised Bob Barker, if you're watching, bro, I promised that I wouldn't say the word retarded or retard. You're getting a shout out at the end of the video, bro. Don't worry. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why. So you guys got to understand, okay? I'm with the IRWNetwork. I have to wait. If you're not willing to wait, then by all means, pull your pledge. But it's coming this week. It's coming this week. I'm not even uploading anything on IRWNetwork. I'm not. Until they get their shit together, I'm not pushing any content out to that platform. So right now, Off the Script Retro will be a Patreon exclusive, and we will do it this week. So you guys have to understand where I'm coming from. I'm in a sticky situation. I don't want to put it out over there for free when everybody could go listen to it by just going to the website, and then I push it out to the Patreons, and I'm charging you guys $3 a month. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Meanwhile, you guys could go listen to it for free on IRWNetwork. But it's coming. As far as Beer Goons, listen, I can't help Joe Cronin's schedule. If Joe doesn't want to work with me, Joe doesn't want to work with me. We always got these plans and ideas and these things that we want to do, and I'm here. I'm home. I don't go anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere all weekend. And Joe told me earlier in the week, Sunday would be perfect for Beer Goons. Now, it's already 3:09 p.m. I haven't heard from Joe. I don't know what's going on with Beer Goons. At this point, I don't even care. Because after I'm done with this, I'm going over to my mom's house, and I'm going to eat a nice pasta meal. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not waiting around for anybody, especially when it's my mom's cooking. So Beer Goons, I'm waiting on Joe. Beer Goons. That's plural. That means it's two. It's not the Beer Goon, it's Beer Goons. Supposed to be Joe Cronin Show and JD talking about random shit and beer. So now what I'm going to do is this coming week, I'm going to do an audio podcast by myself. And I'm going to title it The Beer Goon. Episode 1.5, because episode 1's already up on iTunes. Joe put that on iTunes already. So I'm going to take some news and notes from the things that I find enjoyable. We're going to talk about music. A lot of new music that's coming out. I'm going to talk to you about it if you give a shit about my taste in music. You know? We'll dabble in some wrestling shit. You know? We'll go over video games and beer. You know, I may explain to you how I even got started on me being a beer connoisseur. You know? So that'll be a lot of fun. And that'll be exclusively for my $5 patrons. But the fact that we don't have the original plan that what me and Joe talked about 2 weeks ago when the last time we did Out of Nowhere was, is we wanted to push it out to each Patreon page. One episode on his, one episode on mine. One episode on his, one episode on mine. But he really hasn't kept his end of the deal. Now, I don't know if he doesn't want to work with me anymore, or if he says he wants to work with me and then just kind of says, fuck you. I don't know. I got no problem with Joe. I don't need any of you taking this back to him and fucking telling Joe that I talk shit about him. I'm not. I'm here. I'm just frustrated that my Patreons are frustrated that they expect something and it's not given. So this is my explanation for all you guys. Hopefully, I don't have to repeat myself again. So that's the reason for that. As soon as I get some free time squared away from the content I'm already pushing out to the channel, which is a lot. Off the Script, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, live reactions on Twitch, streaming on Twitch with Call of Duty, which I've been doing a lot more regularly. I'm planning a WWE 2K stream tonight. Big tournament starting. We're going to get ready for 2K18. I'm going full force this year for 2K18. No matter if the game sucks or not. It's going to be mostly live stream, though. But you guys got to understand where I'm coming from, man. I give you a lot of my time. Most of my week is giving all of you content. It's up to you if you want to support and believe in me and feel like the quality of the content is good enough for a pledge. Sometimes people are understanding of what is going on. I gave you more than valid reasons as to why those two podcasts aren't up for my $3 and $5 Patreons. So you got to understand, sometimes things are out of my control. But the amount of content I push out and the amount of live streaming that I do on Twitch lately should definitely equal more than enough content for you guys to digest. And if you guys want to support me with a Patreon pledge, so be it. I am eternally grateful for your support because you guys are the reason why you're making all of this YouTube bullshit a lot easier for me. I don't work a 9-to-5 job anymore. I gave that up. My goal is here. I took a risk. I'm working from home. I'm very successful at it. I have a lot of free time that I can give to myself and do the things that I want to do. You know, I can do SummerSlam weekend this year without having to be underneath somebody's fucking schedule. Be here at this time and sell retail and jewelry and watches to fucking people who don't give a shit about you. I don't have to worry about that this year. You guys made that possible. You guys made that possible. And when you meet me in Brooklyn this August, in a couple of weeks for SummerSlam, you're going to realize that I'm eternally grateful to everybody. So if you guys feel like I am worth it, then so be it. Pledge. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If not, then don't. But I know I'm upkeeping my end of the deal with the content I push out on a regular basis. The content that I'm pushing out is the same quality you guys have been getting. And you guys know that already. And if you believe in that and you appreciate that and you want to support, then please do so. So that is the reason why. But I wanted to explain that to you instead of saving it for the end of the show because I got no fucking news today anyway. I don't. But that's that. Hope you guys understand all of that and the frustration that I'm getting from some people. It was only 2 bad seeds. And that's not all of you. I got over 300 fucking Patreons on the channel. So If those two bad seeds can't appreciate that and understand that, then goodbye. I don't need their money. I don't want their money. I don't give a fuck how long that you've been supporting. Okay? If you're going to talk shit about me and disrespect the hard work that I put into this channel because you don't understand where I'm coming from, or you don't want to understand, period, because you're thick-headed, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Now, those people will not be back on the channel. They will not be back on the Patreon, and they're benched from the Discord, the Patreon channel, and the Twitch, and Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, if you guys want to follow me, at JDFROMNY206, we are nearing 20,000 followers, man. That's fucking unbelievable. Unbelievable. Speaking of Twitter, I was on Twitter last night talking to Tubby Emu. If you guys know Tubby, he is a successful WWE content creator here on YouTube, over 200,000 subscribers. He is interested in coming to House of Glory, but obviously him, Pulse, and a lot of the other guys in the community are going to the 2K event. I was talking to Tubby, and we might be doing something to where we can all meet up, have a few drinks, maybe get some Grimm's Toy Show involved. So we're working out some details. We're ironing out the details. I hope everything goes right, and I hope everybody's schedule is right and works with one another, because I'd love to get involved with those guys. I love to make some vlogs with those guys, get Grimm involved, maybe get some GTS action going on. Should be an exciting weekend, man. And I'm planning my my meet and greet as well, man. But the weekend's going to be so fucking busy. I'm doing a lot of meet and greets with the SummerSlam Access. I know I'm doing AJ Styles. I'm doing the Hardys as well. And I believe I might be doing Roman Reigns. I'm not sure. But I will definitely be doing AJ Styles. That's for sure. Other than that, I'm probably going to be in and around Brooklyn on Saturday and Sunday. I don't know when I should have my meet and greet. It's just going to be very busy days. And then I got to try and, rearrange my schedule to Tubby's and Pulses, and maybe get Denk involved. I'd love to see him again. I seen him last year. I might have my meet and greet for Off the Script on Thursday. I might do that. Thursday's a nothing day. I'll record Off the Script. I'll get it up on Friday. I'll head to Brooklyn. We can do a meet and greet maybe for happy hour, maybe 4 to 8, 4 to 9, something like that. Or later. If you guys want to, get out of work and meet me, we could do 6 to 10. 5 to 10, whatever, man. I'll be there. I'll be fucking drinking happy hour. I'll pick a place. I don't know if you guys are in and around Brooklyn and recommend a place, man. Shoot me some ideas. I'm thinking Thursday for the meet and greet. So let me know what you guys are thinking about that. But like I said, follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below with that bell for your notifications, so you guys know when I do upload. Turn on all notifications so you guys never miss an upload. I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. Let's get into the news, man. We're going to start off with this one. Not much in terms of news, but I got some SummerSlam news. Several matches that could be left off the SummerSlam card. Rumors going around right now that several matches could be left off the card. Most of these do not even need to be happening. This is just WWE trying to get everybody on the show, when realistically, not everybody either A, deserves to be on the show, or should be on the show. You can save it for a random episode of SmackDown or Monday Night Raw. And the matches I'm going to tell you, they could just be on a regular edition of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. These matches do not deserve or need to be on a pay-per-view. They already happened. It's just WWE being lazy and trying to get everybody a payday on the WWE roster. Doesn't need to be that way. You're oversaturating your card to the point where you are going to exhaust your fans. Give me a 9-10 match card for SummerSlam, 4 hours, and leave it at that. Highlight the most important stuff that's been on television. It's SummerSlam. It should be reserved for only the most important. Everything else, sadly, got to get pushed to the side. Either the pre-show or Raw or SmackDown. Simple as that. You don't got to appease these guys by putting them on the show. Sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. The SummerSlam card this year is already looking pretty stacked. That doesn't mean it's good. It's stacked, but it doesn't mean that it's going to end up being good. The event will be headlined by a fatal four-way match for the Universal Championship between Brock Lesnar, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, and the monster among men, Braun Strowman. Coincidentally, the monster among men is the nickname that your mother gave to me and that monster down there on Thursday night. Just letting you know. So, Braun Strowman is the monster among men, part 2. JD is the original, a monster among men. The event also features a match between Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura. I gotta get my mother jokes in there, man. I wouldn't be JD Dice if I did. The event also features a match between Jinder Mahal and Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. I'm glad you guys really enjoyed that skit with Kevin Dunn in part 2. That was fantastic, man. I even laughed at myself. Man. That was quality content. That was hilarious quality content, man. I gotta give myself a Barry Horowitz right there. It was good stuff. The card is shaping up nicely, but there will likely be several matches that don't actually make the card due to time constraints. You don't say. Here are the latest rumors on what could be getting left off the card. According to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter this week, The Miz versus Jason Jordan, coincidentally, could be left off the card for the Intercontinental Championship. Might not happen at SummerSlam. The feeling backstage is that it might be too soon for Jason Jordan to be tossed into a big title match like that. Could also be rushing things a bit storyline-wise since there is only a few weeks until the event. It's not going to kill me if I don't see Jason Jordan or The Miz on SummerSlam. If it makes the storyline better and it gives the storyline reason to breathe by saving it for something else, then I'm fine with it. For the sake of storytelling. I like that idea. Also, some of the matches that might get left off the SummerSlam card due to time constraints are Big Show versus Big Cass. Absolutely. We've seen it on Monday Night Raw already. No reason for it to be on SummerSlam's main card. Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis. Nobody gives a shit. Kanellis is dead. The character's going nowhere. He should be moved down to NXT. Should have already debuted in NXT instead of on SmackDown Live. We already seen it on pay-per-view, and we've seen it on SmackDown Live already. So, why do we got to see it again? Makes no point. Makes no sense. And then Breezango versus their mystery attackers, which it could be anybody. It could be the team that I predicted it would be and booked the reformation of Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. We could see them. But that's not really going to be pay-per-view worthy. Why would that be on the show? We haven't seen any TV time from their attackers. At least get the attackers TV time. At least get the attackers on television and revealed first before you move into a match. That's just WWE trying to get everybody on the show when not everybody needs to be on the show. These, the Big Show versus Big Cass already happened. I don't give a shit. Move on from it already. It's dead. Boring. After that match we seen on Monday Night Raw, I have zero interest in anything Big Cass and Big Show are going to do from here on out. I love Sami Zayn, but again with Mike Kanellis, I'm over it already. I'd rather see Sami Zayn move on to something else, preferably a tag team with Ty Dillinger. I pitched that idea. The two underdogs, I think they'd work swimmingly together. Breezango and their mystery attackers, like I said, get the mystery attackers revealed on television and then save that match for either a SmackDown show or a upcoming SmackDown branded pay-per-view. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Some of these things might take place in the next few weeks before the event. Others might be held off until after SummerSlam when there is more room to build. Not going to really upset me if these matches do not happen. It makes sense for them not to happen. So that is the rumor going around right now for SummerSlam 2017. We talked about Taboo Tuesday being trademarked by the WWE. People thought that WWE could be bringing back the interactive pay-per-view known as Taboo Tuesday. You might have heard by now that WWE's filed for the trademark. This was an old pay-per-view concept where fans would get to vote on the match stipulations. The event ran for a few years before being replaced by Cyber Sunday and eventually nixed. So why is WWE bringing it back? Would WWE really do a pay-per-view on a Tuesday? Dave Meltzer and the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter speculates that it could be brought back for a future themed episode of SmackDown Live. We've seen special editions of SmackDown in the past. WWE ran a show called Wild Card Finals. That was a special edition of SmackDown in 2016. WWE loaded the card with several title matches. Could be a fun way to add some extra excitement into a weekly episode of SmackDown Live. In case you missed it, the image floating around is on the internet, and it actually began the speculation for Taboo Tuesday to return to WWE programming. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, I don't give a shit about a whole pay-per-view themed letting the fans vote on whatever the fuck WWE's going to have them vote on. But we all know that the fans, whether it's a random edition of SmackDown or a themed pay-per-view, we know the fans don't have control of anything. It's all scripted. It's all thought out well in advance. WWE's already got in mind what they're going to do. They just give you the perception of fan voting, give you the perception of, you know, choosing a match stipulation, right? Like, give me a break. Like, they're going to put out, what type of match do you want to see Dolph Ziggler and AJ Styles compete in? Let me see. A bra and panties match, a kendo stick match, a tables match, or a steel cage match. No shit, I'm gonna vote for the fucking steel cage match. Can you at least give me fucking options that can differentiate from one another instead of being blatantly obvious? Blatantly obvious to the point that we know WWE already booked a fucking steel cage match? Come on. Don't fuck with the fans' knowledge of the product. And don't take your fans for being idiotic and stupid. Come on. You know, you want to make it interactive, really make it interactive. Have them vote on having what title defended. Have them vote on somebody, to challenge AJ Styles for the open challenge that AJ doesn't know. Have them legit vote on random fucking superstars. Everybody on the roster. Put it on the webpage. Vote. Give them a list of everybody on the roster. Who do you want to see challenge AJ Styles in an open challenge? And let the fans vote. You tally up the votes after a fucking hour. You vote. You have the voting go on through the day. And you tally everything up 2 hours before the show. You have it go from regular business hours, 9 to 5. You tally all the votes before you go live at 8 o'clock. And then there's your show. Match stipulations, matches. Have the fans vote on matches. Give them at least a template. Okay, we're going to have a tag team match at this hour. Or this portion of the show. Who do you want to see in a tag team match? It could be anybody. Anybody. You want to have a main event. What do you want to see be in the main event? We're going to have a singles match here. Any two guys you want to see fight. It could be heel, babyface, babyface, traditional heel, babyface. Anything. The fans are going to really own the show. But WWE would never allow that. It's false advertisement. So to me, Taboo Tuesday would be a fucking waste. It's nothing but WWE mocking and treating their fans like stupid idiots. That's all it is. So if they do have an episode, yeah, it's different. It breaks up the monotonous, formulaic bullshit that we see on WWE television, but it really isn't fan-run. It's WWE run with the perception that the fans really do have a voice, which in case, it's not. So I don't give a shit if Taboo Tuesday returns or not. It's different, but I could care. I don't care at all. I want to care, but I don't care. Could care less about Taboo Tuesday. Moving on here, man. We got news. We got news on Bayley. Bayley's injury. SummerSlam status right now. Bayley was injured this past week on Monday Night Raw in her match against Nia Jax. I'm not like most girls. Yeah, clearly. WWE announced that Bayley has been dealing with a shoulder injury and her SummerSlam status is in jeopardy. WWE has been continuously teasing bad news. This is where I would have my mallet. Bad News Barrett. Damn, that was another gimmick WWE fucked up on. Bad News Barrett was fucking great. Really. How could you fuck that up? Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. If Bad News Barrett was still in WWE right now with that gimmick, I could easily see him as a world champion. Easily. That gimmick was gold. His laugh was fucking infectious. It was great. His sarcastic fucking dick-like mentality was great. I don't know why they scrapped that. You know why they scrapped that? Actually, I do know why they scrapped that. Because fucking Wade Barrett got over on... I was going to say Bray Wyatt. Fuck Bray Wyatt. Wade Barrett got over on his own. He got over because people wanted to see him. He got over because he was that good. WWE gave him a gimmick. Let's give him this comedy, cheesy gimmick. This will never get over. He'll be right where we want him. And then he was coming up on the podium and people were fucking laughing and being entertained by him. And WWE like, no, we got to put an end to that. We got to put an end to that. Oh, Rich, why? I love seeing Wade Barrett. His mallet was made of wood? The podium was made of fine wood? You know? I don't know why they got rid of it. I'd love to see that back. But now, he doesn't give a shit about the wrestling industry. He's doing movies. Made to DVD, right to Walmart. Come on, bro. Anyway, Bayley's been bad news, period, but some people think that her injury is bad news. I could care fucking less and less and less about Bayley each and every fucking week. But we got bad news on Bayley's status. According to WWE.com and their preview from Monday Night Raw, Bayley might not be getting into the ring anytime soon. This seems like a tease that the injury might be significant, and she will not only be missing SummerSlam, but a few months of action. This is on WWE.com, and you can see the verbiage written here, how fucking cheesy it is. It doesn't seem likely that the huggable one will be getting back in the ring anytime soon. If Bayley is unable to compete at SummerSlam, who will challenge the so-called goddess of WWE for her coveted WWE Championship? Hopefully details will emerge on Raw. Who the fuck talks like that? The huggable one? The goddess who will challenge the so-called goddess of WWE? Now, who will challenge Alexa Bliss for the Monday Night Raw Women's Championship? Why are they going to add this verbiage that's just cringe-worthy on these WWE.com articles? My God. Hopefully the injury doesn't keep her out for months, like we've seen with some other shoulder injuries in the past. Bayley tweeted the SummerSlam poster. She might be teasing that this is all a work. So we don't know. Keep in mind, if WWE has Bayley come out on Monday Night Raw and miraculously get back in the ring and attack Alexa Bliss, or attack the participants in this match that's happening on Monday, Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks, number one contendership, we know that it was all a ruse. Could be WWE building sympathy for Bayley, or it could be legit. I don't know. Either way, I don't care. Either way, I don't care. You know why I don't care? It's because Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks should have been the match that WWE booked from the beginning. That was the match that should have been all along. Bayley has no business being in a women's championship match after what we've seen her go through leading into Extreme Rules. Fuck that. Fuck that. Bayley is cringe. If Bayley needs anything, it's a reset. Sasha and Alexa should be the match, with Sasha winning the Raw Women's Championship and going on to battle Nia and the likes of Emma and maybe Mickey. Then get to Bayley. Then she can turn on Bayley. I discussed this ad nauseum already. How many fucking times I gotta tell you? Heel Sasha versus babyface Bayley. WrestleMania 34, Raw Women's Championship. Book it. That's the way it needs to be. CM Punk is in the news again, but I'm not going to title my video Breaking News on CM Punk Return to WWE, like fucking Gaze View Entertainment did this past weekend. Clickbaiting fucking scum. So he reads an article about Samoa Joe giving his thoughts on CM Punk's possible return to the WWE. But he clearly left Samoa Joe out of the title and titled it CM Punk's Return to WWE Breaking News without having mentioning Samoa Joe's name. So my title for this topic is Samoa Joe gives his thoughts on if he thinks CM Punk will ever return to the WWE. That's how you do it, failure, goon, entertainment. Samoa Joe and CM Punk have a long history with one another. They put on some incredible matches together, including several while they were in Ring of Honor, which we highly recommend, because I've seen them, and yes, they were good. I'd love to see it redone again now with Joe and Punk the way that they are now, mature, and Joe's the Destroyer, Punk the best in the world. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be fantastic. Joe was recently interviewed by The Sun, where he was asked if he thinks Punk will ever return to the WWE. As many fans know, Punk and WWE aren't exactly on the same page after his departure a few years ago. This is what Joe had to say during the interview, and I quote, "You never know with Punk. He is definitely somebody who does things on his own, in his own way, and I think the biggest thing is that you can never count out what his next move will be. Joe continued, and I quote, I think no one would have predicted his move to the UFC. Nobody would have predicted a lot of things he does, so whatever he chooses to do, he will do what he feels best in the moment. Does that mean Punk is returning? No! It's just Samoa Joe's opinion on what his friend could possibly do. So there you go. Make of that what you will. But CM Punk is nowhere near close to returning to the WWE. There you go. Steve Austin shares what dream match he wishes he had. On a recent episode of the Steve Austin Show, the Rattlesnake answered some questions from listeners. One of these questions was who Austin wishes he could have wrestled during his career. Austin says that he wishes he could have wrestled Hulk Hogan. Many fans thought WWE would go with Hulk versus Austin at WrestleMania 18, but it didn't happen. Hogan faced The Rock at the event, and Austin wrestled Scott Hall. Here's what Austin said about never facing Hogan, and I quote, I gotta say Hulk Hogan, because one of the biggest draws in the history of the business. Everybody thought that the match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan should have happened a couple years back, and never did. Just for whatever reason, I didn't feel like stepping back in the ring. I think Hogan was ready to go, but I wasn't. And so I never got a chance to wrestle that guy, and it would have been fun to be in the ring with him. Because I was watching an old match on YouTube between Paul Orndorff and Hulk Hogan, and I watched how Hulk Hogan was down there on the mat, and he was just selling his ass off. Paul Orndorff was just kicking the snot out of him, and then finally, after all this heat, started making that trademark comeback. He started firing up that comeback, the people started going crazy, and I realized that guy wasn't born on top. He worked his tail off to get to the top. So I'd say Hulk Hogan right off Jump Street. End quote. So that is that. But I'm not complaining we didn't get Hogan versus Steve Austin at WrestleMania 18. We got Hogan versus The Rock. And in that building, the Sky Dome, at that event, in that very moment, you couldn't ask for anything better than that. I mean, the crowd in the Sky Dome on that night made Hogan into a fucking babyface. That's what spawned the yellow and red to come back. That's what gave Hogan new life. That's what gave Hogan another world title run. It made Hogan a babyface, and it actually turned Rock heel. That night, The Rock was heel. And that's not the way that they designed that match. It's just the unpredictability of rabid fans is one of the best things that you can ask for in professional wrestling. Crowds like that. I'll go back and watch that match from time to time, simply because of how Sky Dome and the Toronto fans reacted to those two men in the ring. The match itself wasn't anything great, but the fans made that match a 2-star match into a 4-star match. Everything about that match was fucking great. All the little things that we get, same old shit, you didn't care about it because of how great the fans were on that night. The typical Hogan bullshit, 50 years old doing the same shit. Rock not really being able to take Hogan to a good match. It's typical formulaic garbage. But we kind of threw all that out the window, and we seen the match for what it was, and the fans really just let our minds go, man. Instead of being critical about something on that night, in that moment, we didn't care. We watched as fans, and we heard their fucking voices rain down on Hogan and Rock individually, and it was fucking magic. Absolutely fucking magic. And easily, when you talk about top WrestleMania moments of all time, that crowd in that moment for that match, easily in the top 10. Absolutely fucking unbelievable atmosphere in that Sky Dome. I can imagine the people that were actually there for that moment. Great stuff. So I really wouldn't say it was a dropped ball on WWE's behalf. If not Austin, it was going to be The Rock. We got The Rock and Hogan. It was great. Austin got the fucking shit end of the deal. That whole feud with Scott Hall, that match with Scott Hall was nothing. That was well beneath Austin at the time. So he could have definitely gotten better at WrestleMania, but it is what it is, man. Not going to go back and fucking fantasy book what happened, but Hogan and Rock, absolutely a WrestleMania moment for the ages. New details on what caused Roman Reigns to kick Enzo Amore off the WWE talent bus. Meltzer's still reporting about this. This issue was actually brought up on Bring It to the Table. There are new details on the incident that caused Roman Reigns to kick Enzo Amore off the WWE talent bus during their European tour. Dave Meltzer reports that the incident in question that broke the camel's back was Amore talking very loudly on his phone to someone. He could be heard saying things that those who couldn't help but hear him thought were negative about the business. He was also heard bragging about how much money he was making from the wrestling business. On Monday's Bring It to the Table, Corey Graves confirmed that the incident did happen and confirmed reports saying that Amore has heat with people. Graves says, I want Enzo on the team. The guy has a ton of faults on screen and off screen. The guy you see on Monday Night Raw is the guy you will meet on a Wednesday afternoon walking down the street. Enzo is Enzo 24 hours a day, which rubs a lot of people the wrong way. He added, if you're on a European tour for 12 days deep, and he's going on and on and on about how he partied with The Weeknd in LA, you're going to get tired of hearing about it. There's a limit, and when you're on the road that much, a guy like that will wear on your nerves. Graves also said that he doesn't like Enzo, but hopes that he can get on everyone's good side again. JBL noted that wrestlers in Amore's situation tend to not make it in the WWE. The only exception would be The Miz. Graves suggested moving Amore to 205 Live. He might get his wish because there's been a lot of talk about what to do with him. And one of the ideas brought was to move him to 205 Live because he is someone the fans will react to. There's also been talk about sending him back down to NXT, which to me would be the better idea, where he would get a signature star treatment, and that move would get him away from Vince McMahon. So this whole Enzo Amore situation, it pretty much has to do with not respecting the business and kind of being a bad influence on everybody else in the locker room. You know, you're not really supposed to go get in and around your peers and start bragging about how much money you're making and how you party with fucking strippers and this and that and all that other shit. The main thing at hand is doing your job right, doing your job correctly, and just fucking keeping all your personal business to yourself instead of blabbing it out to the entire locker room as if you're some big shit. Yeah, Enzo's only on the roster for what, a year and a half now? So he thinks who he is. You know, some of the guys who have been there for years, you know, are going to see that as a problematic situation. They're going to see that as disrespectful behavior to everybody else in the locker room. Especially guys like Roman Reigns, who's been a leader of that locker room, who's been on that roster for 5-6 years now. So if he's deemed the leader of the locker room now, and he sees that type of disrespectful behavior about not only the WWE, but the business, all of that is actually disrespectful to the people who he works with as well, his colleagues, his co-workers. So Roman Reigns did what he had to do as a leader of the locker room. He had to kick Enzo off the fucking bus. You know? When you're tired and you're fucking sleep deprived and you're hurting and you're sore, you want to relax when you got some fucking time on the bus to go from city to city. You got Enzo fucking screaming his head off about this and that and this and that. You know? I don't blame him. I don't blame him. But if he's not liked, and the rumor now is that WWE officials are looking to move him away from Vince McMahon, 205 Live is not the situation. I'd move him down to NXT. That would work on his in-ring skill. He will get over there. Fans know him. He was born and raised there. He could help sell tickets to live shows. He could be a merchandise giant down there. You know, 205 Live, you're gonna banish him to fucking the next dimension with no return. Yeah, now, if you really want to punish him, if Enzo is really disliked and you really want to fucking stick it to him, like I told you, you know, put him on 205 Live. That might end up having him quit the company. But if you really want to keep Enzo for some of the positives that he does give back, I'd say move him to NXT. Move him to NXT. I think that's the best situation for Enzo Amore right now. 205 Live, they got to get rid of that shit. We discussed this already on part 1. If you guys want to go check out part 1 and how I would handle 205 Live and what I would do with NXT and all that shit with Enzo, go listen to part 1. In-depth discussion about what I would do with 205 Live and the Cruiserweights and how I would fix the Cruiserweights on the main roster. Finally, guys, before we get into the mailbag, Global Force Wrestling loses possible partnership because they won't release the Broken Hardy gimmick. This is interesting. There are a lot of people on the Hardy Boys side when it comes to their ongoing battle over the Broken Universe. It's been an epic battle, and it's been cutthroat and non-stop, but what else would you expect other than total non-stop action from Global Force Wrestling? In the midst of any public war, there are bound to be people choosing sides, and naturally, the Hardys have plenty of people standing behind them. Rebby Hardy recently tweeted out a screenshot from what people can only assume is a direct message conversation between Global Force Wrestling and Jimmy's Seafood. And by the look of things, negotiations concerning a partnership between the two sides have stalled just as fast as the actual talks over the Broken Universe ownership. Everybody thinks it's okay now because the Hardys seem to be woken. So in the end, it might be better off for them to be working under a gimmick that Vince McMahon has created and has more creative influence on. After all, if Vince is attached to something, he's usually more invested in that character and gimmick. Just look at Jinder Mahal's success to see a more recent example of Vince's preference toward his own ideas. Still, Jinder's a failure, but I get the point. Of course, people are willing to bet that Matt, Jeff, and Rebby probably still have a lot to do with the Woken universe, and Matt and Jeff being now woken in the WWE universe. So Global Force Wrestling losing partnerships and sponsorships with Jimmy Seafood because they won't release the Broken Hardy gimmick. So there you go, man. You know, Jimmy Seafood cutting ties. They don't want to talk because they know Global Force Wrestling is in the wrong. Everybody's a fan of the Broken gimmick. Jimmy Seafood is a fan of the Broken gimmick. They don't want nothing to do with Global Force until they release the rights to the Hardys. Quite funny that Global Force Wrestling is just being hand over fist embarrassed by everybody. Rebby, they're being embarrassed by Matt, Senor Benjamin, Jeff, the wrestling world. They're embarrassing themselves. And now fucking giant seafood chains who don't want nothing to do with them until the Broken Hardy gimmick is released. Unreal. When will it end? I don't know. But maybe this whole Woken deal will end up being better off for them in the end than waiting around for Global Force Wrestling to release the Broken Hardy gimmick. We'll find out as we head towards SummerSlam. Will the Hardys be woken or broken? We'll find out in a couple of weeks. That is Off the Script, guys. Thank you so much. I apologize that there really hasn't been a lot of news on this episode. There really is zero. There's zero news, man. Zero. You know, when Keemstar has a drama alert and he tweets out that there's no news, he doesn't make a video. I wanted to make a video for you guys because I had this tail end. It's like fumes coming out of a fucking tailpipe. You know? There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. But we got an episode up, part 3. It might be light. It might be weak compared to the first 2, but you got it in your sub box, hopefully. That is episode 181, part number 3 of Off the Script. I am JD. Stay tuned for the mailbag where we go over subscriber stories and Patreon shoutouts right here on Off the Script. This is the part of the show, guys, where we go over all Patreon shoutouts for the week. And then, obviously, subscriber stories to close another edition of Off the Script. I want to thank everybody who took the time to pledge to the Patreon account. Patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. If you guys want to pledge on your own, all pledges are appreciated. As little as $1 a month goes a long way, man. You guys get early access to Off the Script each and every single weekend. You guys got access to my exclusive Off the Script Discord chat where we all talk about the latest and greatest rumors in the WWE. And obviously, that early access is great, man. If you guys are working the overnight shift, if you guys are working late at night and you're bored and you need something to do, you need some quality entertainment, and you guys pledge to the Patreon page, you guys are going to get Off the Script 12 hours early before it goes live to everybody else on YouTube. So that's great in itself, man. All for $1 a month. If you guys want to bump it up to $3 a month, Off the Script Retro, you guys got 2 episodes on there right now. You got over 3.5 hours of audio content for Off the Script Retro. 1992 Royal Rumble. And then we talk about WrestleMania 8 as well coming this week. We got the SummerSlam pay-per-view from Wembley Stadium, SummerSlam 92, Bret the Hitman Hart versus the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. Episode number 3 of Off the Script Retro coming this week. That is $3 or more. Also, with the $3 or more, you get everything that the $1 Patreons would be getting. Early access to Off the Script and that exclusive access to Discord. You guys want to bump it up to 5? Beer Goons, or what I'm going to title it, The Beer Goon this week, because I'm going to be going over my beers, my hobbies, my music, my likes, video games, maybe a Q&A. I don't know, man, but if you guys want to get in on that this week, The Beer Goon going to be uploaded. That's $5 or more, and then plus you get everything. All the other tiers are available too as well, man. So make sure you guys go and check that out. Patreon.com/JD-from-NY206. Special shout out to everybody that pledged this week. David Cochran pledging $5. We got Jess W raising her pledge from $678 to $789. We got David Luna pledging $5. And I messed up my screen. There we go. David Luna pledging $5. We got Bobby Skinelli pledging $1. And a big fucking shout out to Bobby because he donated $100 along with Antonio on the Twitch live stream on Wednesday night, man. We got Tony and we got Bobby pledging $100 or donating $100 out of the kindness of their heart to the Twitch live stream that we did for NXT this past week. Both of you guys are absolutely fucking monsters. And a huge thank you, huge shout out to both of you guys. We got Rayfro Wasco Cali 661 raising his pledge from $3 to $5. We got Lori Toothhill pledging $3. We got Armand Brown pledging $5. We got Lily pledging $1. We got Hamad pledging $1. We got Riley Parvin raising their pledge from $4 to $5. Brett L pledging $12. And we got fucking the greatest game show host in all of the land, Bob motherfucking Barker, pledging $20 for the Patreon, man. Unbelievable shit. Thank you guys so very much for all your love and support. If you guys want your own shout-outs each and every Sunday right here on Off the Script, patreon.com/JD-from-NY206. Let's get into the sub-stories, man. We got a few here that came in last minute. If you guys want to get in your sub-stories, please email me, JD-from-NY206 @yahoo.com. Make sure to leave me your name and where you are writing from. And please, I urge you guys, I love you all, but please be legible in your structure of your paragraphs, your sentence, and make sure you guys are spelling words correctly. It makes it easier on me when I'm reading your sub-stories right here on Off the Script. We got one titled here from Brian Infante called The One WWE and Metal Fanboy. Hello, JD. My name is Brian Infante, and I'm 15 years old who enjoys wrestling, video games, anime, drawing, old school metal, etc. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I watch your videos daily no matter what, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or Kevin Dunn. He wrote it. I gotta do it. But during the time you're reading this, I've recently been dumped by my girlfriend after 12 months for a reason. One, I live in Mexico of Los Cabos San Lucas. Ooh. I love to visit Cabo. I love to visit Cabo, man. JD on the nice white sandy beaches with a fucking beverage in my hand. Ooh. Hopefully, man, hopefully. Beautiful place, by the way, he puts. But my real home is in the U.S. I've moved recently 2 years ago in the year 2015 on December 16th. I decided to still be friends with her, not until last year of September 13, 2016. I asked her out when I was in Mexico still, but today at 2 a.m., she dumped me, and here comes why. She didn't want to wait 3 more years for me. I'm only in the U.S. for 2 more weeks. Until then, I don't return until 2020. and she didn't want to take a risk of waiting for me for that long. Me and her are and have become once again close friends. She told me this, and I quote, "You love me with all of your heart and you have your heart to me, but I'm going to return it. It has a few scraps here and some cracks, but it'll get better. I really don't want to break it, but I'll say it in the best way I can. I don't feel the same way you do as the way you feel for me. You've sacrificed all for me, but I see you more as a friend, not a boyfriend. Please keep the heart and don't throw it away. Keep it intact and don't let it shatter. We'll still communicate together no matter what. Please don't be hard on yourself. I don't want you to be in a one-sided relationship. Thank you for being there for me, for everyone young. I'm sorry. Thank you for being there for me, for everyone. Thank you. But I'm honestly happy, JD, because I know that me and her are still friends, because we know that we will still be friends till we all fade to black. To any young viewers, please don't start love early at the age of 13. You're still young and you have more left to worry about. Anywho, I wanted to share this recent story that happened. If you read it, it'll make my day. Anywho, thank you, JD, for always being there to cheer me up. Sincerely, Brian Infante." Well, I'll tell you this, Brian. I'm going to be completely honest with you, because I'm honest with you guys every day, every episode of Off the Script. Number one, you guys are young. Okay? If you guys were older, if you guys were my age, and I loved somebody that much, I would have waited. I would have waited the 3 years. I really would. Constant communication, maybe a visit here and there. It could have worked. If you really loved each other, it could have worked. If you were a little bit older, if you guys had your life set, and that's something that you really wanted. Being that you are 15 years old, and you guys are still so young, you can't really blame her for not wanting to wait. There's so much out there to experience. You guys should not really be invested in that type of serious relationship at that age. You got schooling to worry about. You got family to worry about. You got your own career path ahead of you to worry about. And if somehow you guys end up crossing paths again in 2020, then so be it. It was meant to be. But as of right now, if you really care about her and you don't want to lose her as a friend, keep up that communication, because you don't know where those roads will take you. It's very difficult for me to talk to anybody that I'm in love with or have been in love with after we've separated. It just, more times than not, doesn't work out. It really doesn't. And I wish you all the best in hopefully finding that love again. Just from your letter, I know and I can sense that you loved her. And she loved you with the nice message that she wrote you. But she ultimately didn't want to hurt you. She did the respectable thing and told you beforehand. She didn't go out and cheat on you. She didn't sneak around. She gave it to you up front. This is how it's going to be. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want you in a one-sided relationship. She was open and honest with you. So just by that alone, she's a good person. And if you guys end up crossing paths again, then it was meant to be. So be it. So you'll meet somebody, man. You'll meet somebody in that 3 years. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. But like I said, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It'll come back to you when you come back home. And thank you for being a supporter of the show, man. I'm going to keep doing what I can to cheer you up. And I wish you the best of luck. Have fun in Cabo. I'd love to visit Cabo one day. And I'd love to be sitting on a beach in my bathing suit with a nice fucking mojito. Or pina colada, one or the other. Pina colada's got to be strong, though. It's got to be potent for JD to be happy. But thank you so much, man. And, I like that you listen to heavy metal, old school metal. Speaking of old school metal, man, I just listened to the new Accept album, The Rise of Chaos. Awesome fucking album, man. Awesome. Old school fucking metal the way it's supposed to be, man. Good old-fashioned rock anthems on there. It's got some catchy riffs, the fucking old school vocals. Good stuff, man. So if you guys are into heavy metal, Accept. Been around for years. So make sure you guys go and check that out. The Rise of Chaos, now available. Because I got Spotify Premium, bro. I get notified of all the new stuff. So make sure you guys go check that out if you're into the old school heavy metal. Thank you so much, Brian, and I greatly appreciate your love and support. This one here is from Eric Woodhead. Uh-oh. Don't let Kevin Dunn find out about your name. Eric, Wood? That's his name. That's his name. Seriously, I'm not joking around. Eric Woodhead. Hello, my name is Eric Woodhead. Gotta do it. And I've been listening to your podcast for over a year now. I just wanted to thank you for your continued effort you put into the podcast to make it the best that it can be. For example, the past few weeks, you've changed the arrangement of the podcast to include your plugs between different subjects. I really love the new format because it's a nice transition between the topics and it makes Off the Script sound a little bit more professional. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for making me a smarter wrestling fan, and I know you're a Braves fan, but I'm a proud member of the Red Sox Nation. Have a great evening and keep up the great work. Sincerely, Eric Woodhead. I don't mind the Red Sox, man. I much rather the Red Sox than the fucking Yankees, to be honest with you. And you guys got my boy Craig Kimbrell, bro. Come on. You know, I miss Craig Kimbrell, man. If the Braves had Kimbrell right now, they'd be pretty close to the Nationals for first place in the NL East. Kimbrell was a fucking beast. An absolute beast, man. There's a reason why I got a poster of him on my fucking living room wall. He was absolutely great. That fucking cutter, that slider he's got, is fucking nasty. I've never seen anything so nasty, man. Especially from a Braves pitcher. The nastiest I've seen before that was John Smoltz. John Smoltz and his fucking cutter, and Greg Maddux and his changeup, bro. Oh my God. Forget about it. Forget about it. Great shit. I don't mind the Red Sox. Anybody but the Yankees. Anybody but the Yankees. Fuck the Yankees. And I'm from New York. But I appreciate the kind words, Eric. The format change, I really like it a lot better. I gotta thank one of my subs, Jesse, for that recommendation. He really thought of that and said, you know what, let's do this. You know, because Bruce Pritchard does that with Conrad on his podcast, Something to Wrestle With, and I'm like, you know what, I can't do the voiceovers and the fucking voice acting that those guys do and the wrestling impersonations, but you know, let's try and integrate the plugs within the podcast. So it's worked out. It's worked out pretty well, man. So I greatly appreciate your love and support. I appreciate you guys loving the show, the new format. Makes me happy, man. Makes me happy to know that I'm doing a good job. Eric, thank you so much for your sub story, and I greatly appreciate all your love and support right here on Off the Script. We got one more, man. We got one more. If I can find one. This is a long one. I'll save that one for next week. There's one here. Let me see if I can get back to my fucking email. Yahoo email sucks. I don't know why I have Yahoo email. We'll do this one. David Cochran. I don't know if this is a sub story or not, but it's in my email, so we'll read it anyway. David is writing. Hey, JD, my name is David. I go by the name Eternal on Twitter and Twitch. What's up, brother? I had a question for you on Twitch, but it got lost in the chat. Which wrestling schools would you recommend? I live in South Florida, and I don't know of any big wrestling schools down here. I'm willing to make a move, but I'm 18. Granted, if I do make the move to whichever wrestling school, more than half the money I have saved up now will go towards a membership at that wrestling school. I don't mind going to a wrestling school and having no place to live. I'll live in the actual school if they would let me. Getting events ready and sleeping on the floor, my one dream is always to be a pro wrestler. Eventually for WWE, but I want to grind out the indies and other promotions before stepping foot in WWE. I really want this. It's all I want. I just don't know how to go about it. I'm saving money right now, working part-time. Just graduated, but being completely honest, as long as I'm in a wrestling school, that is great. That is all I care about. I don't know if I have money left over to find a place to live by the school. I just want this. Many people don't act on what they want in life. I want to be different. My question to you is, can you recommend a wrestling school that will really help me learn? I'm 18 with $2,000 to my name saved up for a wrestling school. This is all I want in life. Thanks for giving me your email, and take care. All right, David, I had to cut away and do a transition within the video because I wanted to make sure that they were in Florida. I knew that they were, I just didn't know what part of Florida. But the number one place I could probably recommend to you, and if you want to research it, is Team 3D Wrestling Academy, the wrestling academy run by Devon Dudley and Bubba Ray Dudley, Team 3D, the Dudley Boys. They are located in Kissimmee, Florida, if I pronounced that right. I know I'll have some fucking goons who live in that area probably saying, "Oh, JD, you mispronounced my town's name, man." Who gives a shit? Kissimmee, Florida. You can go to their website, Team 3D Wrestling Academy. Their phone number is 407-390-9005. If you guys want to go check that out, if you're in Florida and you have aspirations to be a pro wrestler, probably the best of the bunch that I'm looking at right now. Rated almost 5 stars. So clearly they know what they're doing down there. If you guys want to go. Another one that I see here is Fighting Evolution Wrestling. They are in Miami. They are located in the center of Miami. 305-742-0353. Or you could go to the Wild Samoan Pro Wrestling Training Center in Mineola, Florida. 352-272-2806. So you can check those out. All I did was type in wrestling schools in South Florida, and those are the names that came up. So you guys can check them out for yourself. If you're in any of those areas, bro, I would recommend Team 3D. If you want to move to Kissimmee, I don't know what part of Florida you're in. You said South Florida. But I would go with Team 3D, man. They're the most notable ones. They're the most reputable ones, I assume. But call ahead of time and find out what you need, what the costs are, if there's boarding. I don't know, man. I never been to a wrestling school. I never inquired about a wrestling school. But if it's something that you desire this badly, man, go with it. Go with it. You know, a lot of people told me to take the risk, take the jump, quit your job. I did. Here I am, making content for you guys, hoping something breaks. I'm taking a risk on myself, man. It's the first time in my life I've taken a risk on myself. Take a risk on yourself. You're young. You're 18. You want it. Show everybody how badly you want it. Prove to yourself that you can do it. And go out there and be the most successful pro wrestler in the indies, man. And who the hell knows, man? I might see you on Ring of Honor. I might see you at House of Glory. I might see you in WWE. I might be reporting on news of you, you know? If you want it that badly, man, do it. Call ahead of time. Hopefully I helped you with breaking down some of the schools, hopefully located near you. And keep us updated, man. I love hearing those who listen to this want to be or aspire to be pro wrestlers. And if you want to take it to that next step, keep me updated on your journey into the world of professional wrestling, man. David, I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for being a goon right here on Off the Script. And that is Sub Stories, man. If you guys want to get in your Sub Stories, JD from NY206 at yahoo.com. Thank you so much, man. I'll be back on Monday Night Raw review going over the match that was just announced. Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns in a last man standing match in the main event of Monday Night Raw, plus Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks, #1 contender match to find out who goes on to SummerSlam to fight Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. Great week of content coming up. I might be live on Twitch after dinner, so make sure you guys stay tuned to that. I'll leave you guys my Twitch link down in the comments pinned. Make sure you guys follow me on there. And I'll see you guys next week right here on episode 182 of the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you right here next week for episode 182. I'll talk to you later.